Hello everyone and welcome back to another video on my channel. Today I'm going to be going over setting up this raised garden bed. Unfortunately, I did not record a time lapse of me building the actual bed, but it's pretty simple. It just took a while. You can see the metal brackets in all the corners. If anyone wants to try this, I tried to mark the holes with a marker so I could drill the holes and then screw something in, but I would not recommend doing that. I would just say just drill the hole and then screw it directly in. Don't bother marking it because it's way harder to do that. But yeah, pretty simple to do once you get the hang of it. And now I'm just digging up all the grass so that, well, it's in the hopes of mitigating, hopefully, all of the weeds, so I don't have to weed this bed. But we will see with that. This grass is always pretty tough. I've had those tarps and the black covers on it for, I don't know, close to a month. And as you can see, the grass is still greenish, starting to yellow. It's barely even dying, so there's a chance that it'll come back, but fingers crossed that it won't. The ground that we have at the house is pretty hard, so the shovel just kind of stopped working. I tried to get it wet to make it easier, but I just decided that using this pickaxe thing would be easier anyways, even though it did destroy my back, but got it done. I'm just trying to pick up all of the clumps and throw it into that wheelbarrow because I do not want the grass to take root again somehow. So yeah, hopefully that works. I'm also hoping that the roots will grow into this ground even though it's a bit hard, because I'm not sure if I'm not sure if the roots will be able to go through it, but I think they need that room, so hopefully they will. And you might be wondering why I just showed that weird Coca-Cola thing, but I just found it while I was digging. I thought it was weird, so I took a picture and put it in this video, because why not? But yeah, so my plan is to plant the three sisters in here, the corn, beans, and squash. I'll start with planting the corn and the squash, and then I will plant the beans once the corn is a foot or a foot and a half or so. And if you've never heard of the three sisters before and why that's such a smart growing technique, I can explain that to you. So basically the idea is that the corn provides a stalk for the beans to climb up, and then the beans put nitrogen back into the soil, which is really quite helpful because both squash and corn use a lot of nitrogen. And then the idea for the squash is that it shades the ground, which makes for better water retention. So whenever you water, hopefully the ground will be shaded and the water will stick around longer and not evaporate as quickly. So I think it's quite the genius plan, or idea, concept. And then here are some tree roots that I got out that were pretty gnarly. And I'm using Kellogg's raised bed and potting mix. It's organic. The only thing that's a little bit iffy about it is the amount of wood that they put in there. I've read that wood kind of sucks up nitrogen when it's in the soil. So whenever you mulch, don't mix your mulch into the soil, just put the mulch on top. Unless you're using a different type of mulch. If it's wood though, just leave it on the top. But yeah, I think I needed about 17 bags of soil to do this, if I'm not mistaken. And these ones are, you could do this. I'm not seeing too big of a problem with the soil as of right now. Everything seems to be growing decently, I would just recommend getting something else. These bags were like $10 a piece, and they are 2 cubic feet. So yeah. And the size of the bed is 6 by 6 feet, and it's 1 foot deep. And just digging up some spots I didn't have a chance to get to. Yeah, almost filled up the bed. The soil looks really good when it comes out of the bag, but yeah, it's kind of hard to say. Like, I've heard people say that it's not very good soil, but it seems to be fine. And there's the finished product. And now I want to put chicken wire around it because in previous years I guess last year, I had raccoons completely shred my corn plants before there's even corn on them. So this time I do not want that to happen. So I'm putting these 4 posts up, and then I'll wrap chicken wire around it. I've got 2 layers that I'm going to do. The first layer will cover more than half of the boards, and then my plan is to bend the other, so I'll put the other layer of chicken wire on, and then I'll bend the excess over the top to hopefully make it harder for something to climb in or fly in, if it's a bird or something. Yeah, right now I just need to drill holes through the wood, and then line up the holes on the bed itself, and then drill holes all the way through that. And then I've got some bolts that I just screwed in with the ratchet. And as you can see, I'm using staple gun as a straight edge, which works, I guess, but I'd recommend using something better. Yeah, this is the last post, and then I get to wrapping the chicken wire around. The chicken wire is a bit of a pain to do. I'd recommend having someone help you because it just wants to curl up on itself. As you can see, like right now, it just kind of snaps back whenever you let go of it, and it just curls up. And then especially when you're trying to staple everything in, it's really hard to like maneuver the chicken wire and staple everything in. And then here's some of the early pictures of my corn. If you go to my Instagram page, which I will put a link to in the description, I post like almost every day at this point. I try to give you updates on my garden and all that. And right now I am putting some mushroom compost around my plants, and then I will be planting beans shortly, and once those beans come up, I will be putting straw around all my plants to help with water retention. And additionally, for other people, if you put straw down, it will also keep the weeds back to a certain degree. But since this is just like, it's garden soil, so there's no weeds in it, it's not really something that I'm concerned about. But for other people, that would definitely be a bonus. And now I'm wrapping the second layer of chicken wire around. This layer was a lot harder because I couldn't just rest it on the ground. I had to hold it the entire time. And then I had to make sure that it stayed at the correct level that I wanted it to be at so that I can still get into the bed. The plan is to staple the top half in, and then I can still roll back the bottom half so I can get in and take pictures, harvest, and all that stuff. But yeah, thanks so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. I'm not sure when I will post another video, but the next one will probably be a garden tour. So you can look forward to that at some point, probably the next couple of weeks, I would assume. But we'll see. Yeah, thanks for watching. See you next time.